How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review of, a little bit of locally grown, old school locally grown, in that I kind of moved away from that area. IPA hopeful goodness in the form of Breaker Brewing. It is their Mosaic Bang Bang, 6.2% Mosaic IPA, I believe. It's been a while since I had a Breaker beer. I stop by there every now and then to get my hair cut. Well, not the actual brewery, right down the street from the brewery, way home from work, and I'll pop in there and grab some stuff every now and then. But this one actually came courtesy of my buddy Brian. Thank you very much, dude. I went to a release in New York. He happened to go to the same release, but we ended up bumping into each other afterwards at Eddie's Roadhouse, which is an awesome beer bar up in Warwick, New York. And he's like, hey man, I know you don't get out that way that often, and this is their release they did the other day. So, Brian, thank you very much, dude. You're quite the gentleman and the scholar, and yeah. So what does it say in here? Mosaic Bang Bang. This is a, let's see, it was canned 12/18. This is 12/30. So, you know, less than 2 weeks old, 6.2%, and ABV. It says Merry Xmas. Aww. And it is an all Mosaic double dry hop India Pale Ale. And label-wise, you know, I don't know what's going on. It's got little faces. It looks like those, I don't know, happy, weird Asian Japanimation member berry kind of thing going on. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of kind of like that's your typical Kung Fu font. So I don't know where Bang Bang comes from. Maybe I'm just missing the whole point, but it's okay label. I've never been a big fan of Breaker's labels, but yeah. Let's see what this has to offer. Give her a decent pour. I believe the last thing I reviewed from Breaker was their, put that sucker up there, was their, they did a collab with Imprint Brewing. I think that was the last thing I did, but what do we have? Yeah, neither creamy nor rocky head to it. More rocky than anything else, actually, just off white in color. She's got a soft haze to her, orange in its core, a little bit of cataracty edges, but she has this clarity to her. And by that, I mean, it's not super full-on crazy hazy. Like, you can actually see, you know, an inch or so into it, and then it kind of gets murky. So you can kind of tell it's not just that super turbid butternut squashiness. She's got a soft haze to her, let's put it that way. Let's get a nose. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I like that. It's just big, huge cantaloupe, honeydew, melon for days kind of vibes with a little bit of soft kind of grapefruit bits and pieces. Yeah, that's a really beautiful melon nose. That's just like one of the more vibrant, one of the more delectable. Wouldn't necessarily go in the world of juicy because there is a soft bittering with that kind of melon portion of the show, but it's really nice. Yeah, there's a soft, like grass greeny component in the background too, but man, that's melon for days. Oh man, that's one of the better noses. That's the best nose I've ever gotten off of a Breaker beer before. Of the hop variety. There's been some other kind of malt forward stuff that's really done it for me, but man, this is a really beautiful nose. Wow, that's fantastic. I love when beers come off that expressive, especially in that kind of tropical fruit but more melon leaning kind of vibe. It's just so review longer. I used to be a cantaloupe junkie. I used to eat a sliced cantaloupe and a banana every day, and I kind of quit that stuff. And yeah, this kind of just makes me want to go back. You know, I gotta get that fucking cantaloupe in my veins. It's heroin or something. Anyway, bad jokes. Let's dive in. I'm curious to see how this tastes. Cheers. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Very much Breaker. They do a lot of the hazy stuff now, almost to a fault. A lot of the beers they do are hazy stuff, but that's what sells. So I'm not going to begrudge them for that. They have a very distinct profile when it comes to their beers. Their hazy stuff doesn't come off really ever like super like flabby or creamy or sultry. It's a bit more old school. You get a little bit of breakfast grains in there, a little bit of cereal grains. Don't get that too big on this one. Very minimal. But there's this, I don't want to call it thin. I want to call it more drinkable because I wouldn't necessarily call this beer thin. There's a density to it. but it's just not that creamy, fluffy double IPA everybody covets kind of density that a lot of breweries are putting out there. So it's nice, it's drinkable, it's just not super fluffy or creamy. You know, the hops come off a little bit, very old school, very citrus, but like I said, leaning heavily in that melon territory, especially in the nose. Definitely comes off more grapefruity, a little pineapple, stuff like that in the taste, but in the nose, super melon, and it carries through in the taste with that added component of that citrus in there. There's a little bit of soft bittering, grain, hop pellet bittering, very generic. Not in a negative way, but I like it. It's tasty. It's chuggable. It's drinkable. It's 6.2%, right? I remember that correctly. Yeah. And it's nice. It's tasty. I like it. This is one of those beers that when I go to Breaker and I get it on draft, I'm like, okay, I'm good with this. I will drink this. I will taste a couple other things, and if I don't hit anything else, I'll go back to this beer. You know, these are the kind of IPAs that you would like kind of out and about, not necessarily as a session beer, but stuff that, like, you know, you bring to kind of parties, not necessarily like a beer share, but just like impactful beers, well-made beers, especially the way the nose comes off, and stuff that you just want to kind of drink, where it can be part of the conversation, but actually have it be in the background too. I think it's tasty. It's nice. Probably, honestly, one of the more memorable IPAs. Not that I lean heavily on Breaker IPAs, but one of the more memorable ones I've had from them as of late. That's a good thing. Yeah, tasty, good, well-made beer. I dig it. I think that's it. Let's cut to the chase. Is it one of the better IPAs I've had as of late? I don't want to. It's not out. It's right on the line. I've had much better for my preferences, but it's damn tasty. Like I said, that nose is to die for. So if noses are your thing, this is your jam. Value to availability, it's Breaker. Some of their stuff does get to market, especially in the Wilkes-Barre-ish area. Value, that might be where this one jumps the shark. I'm not sure what they charge, but they charge a lot in line with what everybody else charges. So this beer might be like 16, 18, it's probably closer to $18 a 4-pack. It might be even 20, I don't remember. I want this at $14, no more. Even for what it's doing. I get the cost of beer and I understand how it works, but if this is above 14, it's something that I would buy. I wouldn't buy anymore. That's just me. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you love Mosaic noses on beers, if you like chuggable, tasty beers, drinkable beers, local beers of breweries trying to do good, then it's definitely worth picking up because she's damn tasty. That nose is pretty damn killer. Especially if you're in a melon fan, like I am. So there you go. Another review in the books. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. I've interviewed Breaker before. You can go check that out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice bang bang right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.